I once romanticized the ideal of necessity in a way that if my presence were to never grace my significance ever again, they would feel a great deal of pain from my absence. And the reason I felt this way, the reason I romanticized this idea, is because I was taught from a very young age that necessity is to be of higher value than what you want. You do what you need and then you get what you want later. So if what I wanted was of a secondary value, then I wanted to be what someone needed. I needed to be needed in my relationships. And once I began to experience that more profoundly in my romantic dynamics, because now that I'm even speaking on it right now, I realize that this translates into my intimate relationships as it relates to family, as it relates to friends. I don't think I was very conscious of it until I made myself conscious of it by speaking on it currently. But just feeling like I needed to be needed. And oftentimes that's how it was for me. I would come in attempting to be somebody's 60%. I would come in attempting to be somebody's 80%. I would come in attempting to be somebody's 50%. And in reality, I'm already 100%. So now it's 150 because all you got is 50. Now it's 120 because all you got is 20. Now it's 140 because all you had was 40. And in doing that, it's very imbalanced. So somebody's carrying more of the weight that then becomes more of a burden on them and truly mimics or exemplifies this codependency that I'm discussing, because somebody has 40, somebody has 20, somebody has 50, but the other person has the majority of, the percentage. So I was putting in more work into our relationship to a point that, and when I say our relationship, I'm referring to obviously the male significant, because this relationship really opened my eyes to all of my relationships. And I feel like it did this so profoundly. And I'm so blessed and fortunate that God would afford me such an experience that wasn't damaging, but it truly was just riveting in the way that it opened my eyes to certain situations. But getting to my point, I feel like it was so profound for me because I only had two frames of reference, that of family and friendship. I never really had significant relationships with any male suitors that approached me. Any young men that ever acquainted me in life, it was never as profound as it was with this, male significant, because I actually was in a relational dynamic with someone that I wanted to be in close proximity to, somebody that I was very attracted to, yet that attraction lessened because my significant became more of my son than he became, my man. The relational dynamic became very pseudo parental because he needed me for guidance. He needed me for nurturement. And the maternal nurturement that I yielded in our relationship, the feminine energy that I yielded within this relationship, was so immense to a point that that it didn't even feel like I was working from a place of divine femininity. I felt rather emasculated because I had to make a lot of the decisions. I had to do a lot of the work in the relationship. So at some points I would be like, am I working from a place of divine masculinity? But it was like, no, I'm working from this point of divine femininity because I'm still yielding a temperance. I'm still uh giving this nurturement. I'm still doing, what is feminine, but in the way that I'm doing it, it's quite emasculated. Like, it's not divine anymore. It's very unhealthy for me because the burden. Like, for example, my partner would tell me, like, oh, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. Okay, but you keep telling me that you miss me. You keep telling me virtually that you want to give me, yeah, look, I'll give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. But you can't even give me a bouquet of flowers. Don't promise me the moon and the stars, although I know that your sentiment is genuine, although I know you would genuinely reach up in the sky and give me the moon and the star and the cow that jumped over the moon. You haven't even done the basics of getting me flowers. My significant would be like, hey, do you want to go out to eat? And I'm like, sure. All right, where do you want to go? No, that's not how it works. Where are we going? Because you propositioned me. You initiated the conversation of dinner, lunch, breakfast, brunch. What are we gonna do? Stuff like that. And I would just have to kind of compensate for whatever was lacked in that relationship. But getting back to my point, I just wanted to speak on the notion of independence within a union, because If I'm not to be with my partner for whatever reason, if I'm not to be with my family or my friends for whatever reason, I still want them to live a fulfilling, happy life. I want them to be whole. And in order for that to happen, there has to be a sense of independence that is already initiated within our relationship. I have to be chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be a choice within people's life, because for me, within my life, a lot of people are a choice. If I choose to continue this relationship, it's because I want this relationship. It's because I want you. As much as I may need you in some ways, I will always need myself more than I need you. I will always have to sit with myself before I sit with you. Even as I'm sitting next to you, I have to sit with myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself first in some of these situations, or in a lot of these relationships, to where, like, you just realize, like, everything that we do in life is a choice. And it's not to suggest that there are options. It's just to say, like, I'm genuinely just choosing to be with you because I genuinely just want to. Like, wanting someone is very profound, and if it's done in a way that is healthy. But honestly, sometimes I feel like when it comes down to people discussing wants in a way that is toxic, I think it's more so referring to that necessity where it's like, I need you, I need you, I need you, I need you. Wanting someone isn't bad. I think the desire to want someone so badly becomes quite destructive. But then again, like, I feel like that's when we start to venture into that notion of necessity, because you want it so bad, it's almost like you're pursuing it as if you need it. So I don't know, but I'm not trying to get all theoretical or whatever, philosophical, whatever you want to say. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just a choice. The reason why I'm still in close proximity to various family members and various friends is because I made a choice, and I realized for myself, like, I want them there. I want them to add to my fullness. I want them to, be a part of this fulfillment that I'm already experiencing alone. I don't need them to fulfill me. I don't need them to complete me. I don't need that. I don't. I'm not looking, I do believe in the theory of twin flames, but at the same, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel very whole, but I feel like there's like another part of me out there. But let me stop. You know what I'm saying? That's it, y'all. That's it. But I will encourage you all. I can't tell you, for a fact, always create unisons that are of independence. And it's so crazy how, like, what's the word for it? I know the word, and I'm just like, what the fuck is it? But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like how interesting, I don't know, like how dynamic it is, for the lack of better wording or phrasing, where you want to be with someone, but you also need to be able to be without them. Kind of like what I said in a previous video, where I'm like, love is effortless, yet it too is intentional. There's a lot of like opposing, polarity coming into unison, for the lack of better wording or phrasing. But I'm rambling right now. But, hopefully this commentary was very helpful for you all, because it was very helpful for me, very insightful. And I think I want to add to the, well, not I think, I know I want to add to the point of just having that relational experience with my male significant that was quite romantic, and then having those friendships and family relationships to really develop this perspective fully. Because if you're into numerology, 3 is a number of completion. So I think it really completed a cycle for me in my life to simply acknowledge, like, whoa, you cannot be needed in your relational dynamics. And if you feel like you're getting to a point where people need you more than they want you there, that's when you need to start making some reassessments. And that's what I wanted to share with you all, because I'm literally just now uncovering that. Like, this is a revelation even for me as I speak on it, because I never saw it like that. But when I look at certain friendships, it's like, even if they weren't aware of it, they needed me for some reason, in some way, more than I really needed them or needed to perform in such a way. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful evening. I love you, beautiful people. Mwah.